11.5 kilometres from home. The road is a very busy place. Nobody really wants to take up the drive for the line. There are 3 important action points that we've got for you, as if we haven't had enough. But 2.7 kilometres out, 700 metres out, but to be honest, there's a couple of little chicanes as well to be dealt with. I'll talk you through them as we get there. So scratch that. 4 really to have to deal with. This is not one of them, although plenty of right-hand bends, but there's a best way through these things. And then when you get street furniture to deal with, looks like there's one side of the road which is possibly freer than the other, certainly less populous. I hope there's a way back for him just about now. Who knows? 10.9 kilometres from home. Teams are in colour order, but they're still not at full chat by any means, Brian, here.
No, I don't think they can be. Coming up to 10 kilometres to go, still a long way. Like we're saying, it's going to come down to the lead out, and with 6-man teams, you don't have a lot of personnel just to kind of throw at the front of the race. So because it's not overly fast and because it's bunched up, this will make it a little bit chaotic. And you know, we've also seen a bit of road furniture and getting disengaged, and sometimes we go around a corner and you set yourself up at the corner and come out and the road furniture there and you get separated. So it's very difficult, this sprint. We always thought it was going to be very chaotic, and it's just shown us that it is.
Hard to see from this distance, but who is that has been on point for a long time here? Bora doing the driving at the moment, Brian.
It's the Neopro Litbovitz that's been at the front, and the Brazilian champion as well, that has been towards the front, Rangel. Yeah, and they two have ridden magnificently today for their team. So you know, they were the 2 of the kind of 4 riders that came to the front and are still there inside the last 10 kilometres.
Yeah, Rangel has been extraordinarily busy, I must admit, for Movistar. In fact, he was part of the killing of the break. 9.5 kilometres to go and still setting a mighty pace out there. Team Corotec, they've been busy today, just making us talk about them. And here come DSM. This is for Sam Welsford. You know, when Sam has gone well, it's on this kind of terrain, Brian. He does a good grid pattern.
Do you know what, Captain? We haven't, apart from, you know, mentioning Sam Welsford, we haven't really mentioned the black jerseys of DSM. They haven't been anywhere near the front. They've come up in the last 10 kilometres. The same can be said about Israel Premier Tech with Nizzolo. We haven't even mentioned them or seen them towards the front, and sometimes that could be a good thing, that they're saving so much energy, not getting you know, pulled into moving up, staying near the front, burning matches. So let's see how they get on.
Let's see, indeed, starting to make their moves. Peter Sagan, by the way, very, very close to the fore. Possibly just using the wisdom of staying safe. 8.5 kilometres from home, then start to dig in, why don't you? Well screened from the wind, which potentially could have bedeviled us today. And look at this, Astana, Kazakhstan coming into the fray, and this is for Gleb Zritsa, the feisty Russian. Yevgeny Ginich will be working for him, and it's a big one as well. Just too much drifting. And just DSM, I think, getting away with that. They could have been caught behind that. And there is Peter Sagan. Sensible stuff. Oh, Brian, so many dreams will have been dashed by that. No pickup, I'm afraid, picture-wise, to see who was involved. So it will have been thinned down, possibly significantly so. It wasn't that far off the front, Brian.
It wasn't. I was looking at it, I was about 20th place. One rider came down, and fortunately for a few of the riders that saw that rider on the deck went round them, but you know, some riders blinded by it, and you can see that you know, that the gaps appeared because of that crash. And you know, we still don't know, purely because of the camera work, if any of the kind of top sprinters were involved with that. Yeah,
apologies, we don't know who's been trimmed off. We'll do our best to sort this out, but it may well be that some of the approach order is completely and utterly binned. I'm looking and I'm seeing that we have possibly 5 Ineos Grenadiers riders here. So I'm hoping for his own sake that Eli Viviani has made it through cleanly. Haven't caught sight of Sam Bennett, and hoping that he's still very much there. Some will have remounted and got back in. Doesn't look like there's any knockback either, because those at the front, Brian, have got every right to push on.
Yeah, they will. But there's enough time for the riders to come back. It's the question for me is who was involved with the crash, because I don't think they'll be involved with the sprint at the end. But there is enough time for riders to come back, and we're seeing another junction is made, and I think a further junction will be made for some of the riders towards the back of the peloton. But it's who was involved with that crash. Have we lost any of the sprinters? And it doesn't look as if we have. I can see Sam Bennett, Peter Sagan definitely, Syriza of Astana, but very difficult to pick out everybody else.
Yeah, we'll wait and see whether Fernando Gaviria is. Haven't got sight of his face fungus just yet, but I'm hoping that we do. We want a big one here today, and in a good way. Bora, with the looks over the shoulders there, I was kind of worried that they were worried themselves, but Lipovic is settling his nerves. Well, it is a diminished bunch. I would say that we've probably cut the peloton more or less in half, or maybe a third has been trimmed off. Maybe I'm being a bit pessimistic. 6 kilometres from home shows you what can happen, Brian. It's a big watchword for everybody going deeper into this race. DSM got themselves into a happy place, so Sam Welsford will be absolutely delighted by that. Peter Sagan was the biggest name up towards the front, safe as houses, you might say. There's DSM with their black jerseys just over to the left-hand side of your picture, right-hand side of the road, looking deeper further into this group. Still can't see, but Peter Sagan is up there, and so is Eli Viviani. Is in the frame. This is good news for Sam Welsford, Brian.
It is another junction made just at the back of the peloton by some riders coming back. The world champion Evenepoel is up towards the front as well, where I can see Fabio Jakobsen is another thing. But yeah, some riders are coming back. Still 5 kilometres to go, just over. But yeah, that crash, did it take out any of the top sprinters? For the moment, it doesn't look as if Bora have been hampered with it. DSM still up there, Sagan there. You can just see the world champion on the right-hand side there. Can't see too many of the teammates just behind you. Fabio Jakobsen is over on the right-hand side, just been brought up. So I think most of the top sprinters, I think the question is Gaviria. We've not really kind of seen him too much, but we've said that in the past, and he always kind of pops up. He doesn't mind the kind of hustle and bustle of these sprint finishes.
Well, we've got plenty of that. Now then, next major turn is with 2.7 kilometres to go, so we've got about that distance to go before we get there. Jakobsen, the European champion, is being guided up by Soudal Quickstep in their navy and white, perhaps an unfamiliar look to it. Of course, look out for the European champions jersey on the back of Fabio Jakobsen. Ineos Grenadiers are here, and Eli Viviani is there. Looks like he's just as well, just exchanging some pleasantries. 4.6 to go. Cut up road as well, spits out to the left-hand side there, and a little bit of gravel to be contended with. Some of the snappers as well, just enjoying life. Bare-armed here in the setting sunshine of the evening, but dream-like it might look to cinematographers, but honestly, it's going to suddenly become hell for quite a few down there. Great work by Peter Sagan, I must say, from Total Energies to keep himself safe, and they're doing most of the driving at the moment. He is given to burning up all of his team, Brian, well in advance of a finale, and then doing it on his own.
Yeah, well, if it keeps him safe, he's sitting third wheel at the moment, so nice and easy. Daniel Walsh is the rider at the front, so he can go a good kilometre, but yeah, keeping him safe, and like you say, he can use other teams to take his lead out. And when you get an easier ride into the front, into the finish, you're not getting bumped and barred. You're saving that little bit of energy and not having to kind of push and shove and move up.
The big right-hander is the one that we are worried about, and they're coming down towards it. I don't think there's any other turns in the meantime. So if it's a right-hander, best place to be to open up that corner is on the left-hand side, so you can cut across the apex of the corner. Easier said than done. Well, it's nice to see as well Remco Evenepoel doing a job in the rainbow jersey on behalf of Fabio Jakobsen. 3.4 kilometres to go. Astana look like they've reassembled themselves, so you must think that Rizza is here. Viviani's also there, Brian.
Yeah, also just at the dark blue with the white helmet on the outside, you can see that Gaviria is sitting third wheel of that train, just to the right-hand side of the Soudal Quickstep team. DSM
fill the void with Sam Welsford. And here it comes. It's the big right-hander in any moment now. So they're not taking this at the sort of pace that I thought they would be at this point. Still too far to go, quite frankly. Going to drift over to the left-hand side of the road in order to take this right-hander, I would imagine. But let's see if they start to trouble the centre of the road in a few moments' time. 2.7 to go. So our map just slightly out. Here we are. Drift over. And then cut the nose off it, using all of the road and then coming back together. DSM look handsome, Brian.
Yeah, they do. They have numbers, and you know, they've kept their numbers back pretty much all day. Didn't get involved with the chase. We've only been talking about them for the last few moments. Can they deliver? We'll have to wait and see. But there's a lot of teams put an awful lot of energy into this stage already. But there's a lot of teams have sat back, and they could possibly reap the rewards.
Jakobsen there wearing number 3. It's the European Champions jersey, just sitting as he does with Caleb. Zritza is actually on his wheel. Good wheel to follow. Zritza's for Astana with that familiar pale blue. Look at the line, the lead-out train that's at the disposal of Sam Welsford. That is absolutely remarkable. Welsford, number 56 of the men in black. There we are. It may well be otherworldly by the time that they finish off the day. Let's see. Just settling themselves in. Good as well to see that we've got Max Richesi of Argentina, the Argentinian national team, wanting to do his own thing. He's actually settling in directly on the back wheel now of Fabio Jakobsen. Here we are, 1.6 kilometres to go. They take that little shimmy I was telling you about, 1,500 metres, waiting for the Flamme Rouge, and the pace really starting to pick up here. I think the ticker may well be just slightly out. We'll wait until we see that Flamme Rouge, but the big left-hander is the one that we're all worried about. 1,300 metres to go, says the ticker. We'll just have to trust it for the time being. Tucked in is Ritzer. He's on the wheel, wants to ride Hobo on the train of Quick Step here. It's a left-hander that's going to bring us in with about 700 metres to go. We'll see how accurate the ticker is by the time we get to that. Gosh, it's busy, Brian, and the wind is playing a part here.
It is. You can just see on the inside the Movistar team, Gaviri actually following his old lead-out man, Richesi. Sometimes you get that if you've got a trust in someone that he knows he's going to make the right decisions at the right time. But a couple of riders on their own. You said Syriza of Astana pretty much on his own. Sagan, he's got one teammate with him, but the world champion using his strength now to help the European champion Fabio Jakobsen. But we're going to get a bit of a rush into this next corner now. It's going to set up nicely, and most of the top sprinters have actually made it to the front of this stage.
They have. Apologies for that graphic that was misguiding us. It was just slightly in error. But nonetheless, our final turn will come with around 700 metres to go, and it's a left-hander. They're on the correct side of the road now in order to take that. So I'm assuming that now we can tell you just about where they are in terms of our approach. Look at the red and black, that dark blood red streak just behind the Astana blue. With the Zwister now with Yevgeny Gidic trying to lead him out. Opens up a whole hornet's nest here that could be kicked over at any moment. Centre of the road. This is the problem. If you've got a wide highway, some will go left, some will go right, and which idiot is spraying them at this point, affecting their vision, altering the adhesion to the road surface as well. Absolute nightmare.
This
Apologies.
is a huge turn.
Yeah, it is.
Huge turn from Evenepoel.
Massive.
The whole team of DSM have been on the left-hand side in the black, and he's still killing it. This is an epic lead out here from the world champion.
Israel Premier Tech haven't really mentioned them. They're starting to make noises as well. This is for Giacomo Nizzolo. Fabio Jakobsen still being driven into a great place at the moment. Sam Bennett with Bora Hansgrohe. This is that little shimmy I was telling you about on the approach, but they still have not got to the Flamme Rouge. There it is, finally at long last. Apologies for the misguiding of that graphic a little bit earlier on. So this is a big scream down to a left-hander, we remind you. It's coming up any moment now. This motorcycle being called out. A lot of street furniture for them to deal with as well. A little bit of debris to be found, and here is your final corner. A hoping this isn't going to be our view for the remainder of the run here. Mind you, trees screening us as well from the helicopter shot, unfortunately. This is 700 metres from home that we're dealing with right now, waiting for a heads-up shot, and we finally get one. And here we are, Borough Hansgrohe. Sam Bennett's in a fantastic place. Equally so, Soudal Quickstep, though, with Jakobsen there in the European jersey. We have Zlitzer who wants to have a part of this one. Oh, gosh, it's gone very blurred, I'm afraid, and all of a sudden it picks up with Jakobsen in the front. At the line, looks like Sam Bennett just about got there on the switchback. Late picture to have for you, I'm afraid. But it looks like Sam Bennett has made it. Looked like Jakobsen was in third place there. What a finish, Brian, to what was a very long and difficult approach there.
No surprise, it was a bit of a chaotic finish there. The lefts and the rights, the shimmy there. You know, a lot of riders get caught out there, and it was chaotic towards the finish there. But a fine sprint victory, perfect lead out. We were talking about it earlier on. If he just trusts his team, gets the perfect lead out, Sam Bennett can deliver, and it looks like he has.
Well, apologies for the host pictures there. We got a very late switch to the finish. Oh, wow. It doesn't make for a good heart condition, I can tell you that much. Oh dear. Well, we finally got to the line, but Brian, at what result? Sam Bennett, to my mind, brought this one home, and how nice is that? We said if he gets himself a good result, it can be like a dam bursting for him, and that is good for everybody who loves cycling, not just Sam Bennett, Brian.
No, it was good. It was pretty perfect in the lead out. Very chaotic. They'd been riding all day with their young Neo-Pro, got it right into the last left-hand corner there, and I think it was Danny Van Poppel that led out, and we said it all along that if he trusts his lead out, gets himself in the right place, keeps out of trouble, then he's got every chance of winning, and he did.
Well, we're going to wait for a replay. We haven't seen. Here we go, Brian. Talk us in.
This is the back markers.
It is, in fact. We'll get that replay for you in a few moments' time. I guess we're finding out as well who was caught up in the crash. Did that look like... I'm not even going to guess. Sam Bennett has taken the day. I think Jakobsen finished in third place there. Was Danny Van Poppel did such a good lead-out job? He will have got well placed there as well, Brian.
I'm not too sure. It was I got what you got.
Yeah.
It looked as if...
Here we go.
You know, you can see that Sam is opening up now. Danny Van Poppel looks as if he was the lead-out man there, and Morkov coming up. Nizzolo was there in third place. So it looks as if Sam Bennett just beat Morkov, Nizzolo in third place. Syriza, Sagan, all up there. But yeah, Danny Van Poppel realising what a fantastic lead out he did. So Bennett, Morkov, Nizzolo, Van Poppel and Syriza.
Peter Sagan getting himself a top, just outside the top 5, I think, there. Kept himself safe. I'm hoping to see... That's the picture we would have liked to have been frozen.
Yeah, I think that shimmy just outside, as you mentioned, just outside the last kilometre. Some riders get caught on the left-hand side, some on the right. And if you were in the right, you get the best way through. That's a little bit of... maybe a bit of luck, but maybe some of the sports directors will give that information, keep to the right at that, because I believe that some of the riders on the left get caught out. And possibly Jakobsen might have been one of them, because it looked as if Soudal Quickstep were in a really nice place there.
They were. Well, apologies if that wasn't as clean as we would have hoped in terms of our view, but Sam Bennett, our winner, and I'm 1-0 up, Brian.
Yeah, good for you. It's a long season, don't worry.
Good old Sam. Well, he looks so... It looks so focused, and the import of what this is will be seen reflected as we go deeper into the season. It's nice to see Sam Bennett off to a winning start. Great result for him, and good as well that he took Brian Smith's advice and followed Danny Van Poppel as if he needed that. He's got it, and the big smile. Nobody has a broader smile than Sam Bennett, and he's wearing it now, Brian.
Yeah, he's worked hard over the winter. He came here, he said he wanted to win 2, although he believed he could win more. Difficult start to the year last year, but came good towards the end, and obviously he's kind of worked hard throughout the winter to come here and win his first race of the season.
I think he'd be also rather pleased that he's had the beating of the Soudal Quickstep boys, to be honest. There's always a bit of that. But Sam is not only our day's winner, he's also the leader of this race, Brian.
Yes, he'll wear the leader's jersey tomorrow. But it was such a chaotic run-in. We're talking about lead-outs and some of the best lead-outs in the world. He just has to trust sometimes, other sprinters jump onto other kind of lead-outs, and it's just putting trust into your lead-out man that he will do the job. And I think Danny Van Poppel done the perfect job for him there.
Agreed. Well, we're still waiting for a replay, Brian, so you can do your thing, but Sam's done his. Great work.